today we're talking about setting our goals and then setting our schedules and our work hours to reach those goals. What I want you to do is I want you to take a piece of paper and draw a line down the middle. So pause, grab a piece of paper. Okay, draw a line down the middle, and I want you to write on one side, say the right side, your goals and make them specific. Like financial freedom is cool, but I don't know very many people who want to live in debt. And so that's very general. I want you to take a look, and this might take some time. I want you to take a look at how much money you need to make each month to live comfortably. How much money do you need to make each month to start paying off your house or to save for a house? If you want to travel, that's great, but I want to travel the world. Where do you want to go? And write down the amount it would take to get there. Making your goals specific makes them more dynamic, because traveling the world is not going to really happen unless you know where you're going and how you're going to get there. So make them specific to you, and make sure you're writing down things. Again, your head's going to be like, oh, that's, I don't know if I should write that. Write down everything you really want to do. Write down without hesitation the things you want to do. And not the things you think you should or you ought to, but things you've always wanted to do. Then on the left side, I want you to get real vulnerable and real honest. And I want you to write down, starting at the top, the time that you get up. And then I want you to write down what a typical day looks like from the time you get up, and then write down the time that you go to bed. And now take a look at that paper and get real honest with what you're doing each day. Are the activities you're doing getting you closer to your goals? Now, one of my goals is to have a really strong mother-daughter relationship and a really strong mother-son relationship. And so, you're going to be playing with kids, and there's going to be a lot of interactions with that. And that's one of the things too. When you write down, you don't just write down, I want to have good relationships. Write down the people specific that you want to have good relationships with. And that way then you can look and see if during the day you are working towards having good relationships with those people, like calling them. You're not going to improve your relationship with somebody unless you talk to them. But be real honest with what you're doing. Are you scrolling through Facebook? Are you watching too much TV? That was my thing. When I wrote down and I did this activity, I was like, you know what, we don't own cable. So we're cool. We don't do what most people do as far as TV watching goes. We don't watch sports. Neither one of us is big into, watching World Series, Super Bowl, anything like that. But I realized Count and I have our favorite shows. And every night we would sit down and we watch about an hour, not a lot, but we watched about an hour, 45-minute show each night. And when I looked at this and I said, okay, we want financial freedom. This is how much we have to make. This is how much I know I can make with Beachbody. But this is how much time I'm spending in Beachbody. And I'm spending 5 hours, Monday through Friday. I'm spending 5 hours a week watching other people's lives, fake lives. Well, it started to not make sense to do that. Now, connecting with Cameron was really important. So what we decided to do was we now start to get up together. And I get up a little bit earlier so I can get a workout in with him. And so Monday through Friday, instead of sitting down and spending an hour watching TV, I'm getting up with him and we're working out together. We're bettering our lives. So that's one of the goals we have, is to be a fit couple together. And so we're working on our goals and we're working out. And so I have a date night with him Monday through Friday. There's a third wheel with a personal trainer on the TV. But sometimes Sean's a third wheel in our date. But that's one of the things we decided to do. So that way then that hour at night, he's got his entrepreneurial dreams that he's working on, and I've got mine. And so that hour, we're sitting together on our computers, and we're working towards our goals. So I have an extra 5 hours a week to be able to work on the things that are going to help get us to our goals. So look at your time. I'm going to post below a video that Scotty Hobbs did. He went from working 2 jobs. His wife worked 1 job. They hardly ever saw each other, and he went in 2 years, he was able to retire his wife and himself, and in 3 years, they paid off a $175,000 mortgage. And so now he's working Beachbody full time. They have 4 kids and they're loving the time that they're spending together. And he talks about the sacrifices it took him to get there. And he, was in a band and it was a really fun thing to do, but he realized he was spending a lot of time with his bandmates and he could be taking that time to work on his business to reach his goals. Because he knew that becoming financially independent and not having to pay a mortgage, he could then put that time and effort into playing with the band with less stress because he wasn't working at his job. And he also was playing with his work on a baseball team, and he had to travel to go to the baseball practices and games, and he realized he could create 4 hours extra worth of time to work on his goals if he didn't do the baseball. So he did. He cut those things out and he said, look, I'm gonna give myself a year and I'll be back. And so he worked on his business for a year in that time. And after a year, he went back to connecting with those people. And now he's traveling all over with his band and he loves playing baseball with his guys, but he loves the time during the day that he's home with he and his wife and their kids. So watch the video, listen to some of the other things that he sacrificed, take that piece of paper and look and see what you're doing with your time and scratch out the things that aren't getting you where you want to go and fill those hours in with work. Now, scheduling your work hours is really important because it's very easy to be overall consumed with this business and it's very easy to have it be time consuming. And for me, I know that when I first started, I was on my phone, a challenger wrote me a question or somebody wrote me and I felt like I had to follow up right then. I'm telling you right now, schedule your work hours. Make them non-negotiable. Make that power hour super important and non-disturbed, but don't be on your phone all day long. Because if your goals are to strengthen your relationships and you're only working on your business, then your business won't be blessed because you are not balanced. You'll become burnt out. So set your goals, look at your time, and schedule in your work hours. Make them non-negotiable, but when that timer goes off and your kid gets up from the nap or your husband or spouse comes home from work, you turn that phone off, you turn that computer off, and you be present in your life now. So it's really important to set your goals, look at what you're doing right now, and then schedule those hours so that way then you can work this like a business and not get burnt out.